and the work of the work is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Heard from the lion's mouth. I am a hero that nobody celebrates.
Nationwide, but 90 FM.
Remembers my name. Give praise. That means I made a change.
Nationwide, 90 FM. 90 FM.
That's my DJ.
Creative Building Finishes is celebrating 25 years of transforming Jamaican spaces. And we're saying thank you in a big way. Enjoy up to 25% off select items all year long, from bold tiles to breathtaking bathrooms and kitchens. Discover everything you need to create your dream space. Visit us at 5 Red Hills Road or online at creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes.
Your beautiful finish begins here.
Welcome to Nationwide's live coverage of the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, Japan.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Nationwide's coverage of the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan. My name is Nathan Levy, and with me in studio is Raymond Casey Graham. He replaces Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, who was with us this morning. Of course, not quite as good looking. And of course, Michael Carr, coach of Wilma's Girls, and a man who was very instrumental in the formative development of the GOAT, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. We have a short session this evening that has already started with the women's marathon, and that will be followed by the men's 1500 meter heats, the women's hammer throw, groups A and B, and of course closes with the heats of the women's 100 meter hurdles. Now, before we get into some of the specifics about the lane draws for the women's 100 meter hurdles, there is a young athlete, Nayaka Clunis, will be throwing the hammer in Group A. Of course, Clunis, as you know, missed the Olympic Games last year because of a, let's just call it a cock-up by the J3As, where her name was submitted and then it was not. And invariably ended up with her not getting a chance to compete in Paris. Now, Nayaka Clunis has a season's best of 70.85. Her 71.83 is a national record, right, Casey?
Yes, it is.
Right, good. But she's drawn in a group with perhaps the greatest hammer thrower ever, Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland. Just to give you an idea of how good this woman is, she holds the world record of 82.98 meters. She's a 4-time Olympic champion, a 4-time world champion, a 4-time European champion, and of course she's a world record holder. I don't think there can be a more dominant thrower in the women's hammer throw than Anita Wlodarczyk. But let's move on, because there are some things that I wanted to do a little bit of things before we got into this evening's or tomorrow morning session in Tokyo. Want to shout out to a good friend of mine, Chantal Malone from the British Virgin Islands. She's a 2019 Pan Am champion in the long jump, and she jumped 6 meters 62 to advance to the final. So congratulations to her. And Tina Lawrence, if you remember her, I think it's a pity Juliet isn't here, because I think Juliet would remember her. She ran in the 2000 Olympic Games and was initially 4th, but was upgraded to 3rd, I believe, if I remember correctly. After there was a delayed disqualification, call it that, and of course she's moved on. She's been inducted into the FIU Hall of Fame. So congratulations to Tina Lawrence. And finally, some sad news. Want to communicate some our condolences and commiserations to the family of Tanisha Gale of Edwin Allen, who died after feeling unwell during a training session at Edwin Allen on Friday. If you remember earlier this year in March, she was a member of the Edwin Allen, was it the mixed relay team? I think it was.
Sprint medley.
Sprint medley, yes. And she was in training, wasn't feeling well. They took her to a doctor in a nearby medical facility, eventually taking her to the Percy Junior Hospital in Spalding, where she eventually passed at about 8 p.m. on Friday night. So condolences. Young athlete, only 15 years old. A sad ending to a promising young athlete. Now let's move on to some of the lane draws. As I mentioned before, Nayoka Clunis is throwing in Group A of the women's hammer. But in the 100-meter hurdles, in Heat 1, it features Denisha Cartwright from the Bahamas as well as Masai Russell, the world leader, 12.17 and 12.19 this year. And she's suggesting that she wants to break the world record. In Heat 2, the defending champion, Daniel Williams of Jamaica, as well as Asia Lawrenson from St. Lucia, Alicia Johnson of the United States, are the main protagonists in that heat. In Heat 3, was supposed to have been Megan Tapper running in lane 6, but unfortunately, as we reported this morning, she has withdrawn from the championships because of a hamstring injury that she was unable to overcome in time for competition. In Heat 4, the Jamaican national record holder, Akira Nugent, personal best of 12:24, has run as fast as 12:30 this year. She's in heat number 4, along with the European champion Ditaji Kambunji and Charisma Taylor of the Bahamas. I'm just giving you the Caribbean representatives here. And in heat number 5, Amoy Brown, the promising Jamaican, who's run as fast as 12:67 this year, personal best of 12:51. She's in a heat with the outstanding Grace Stark, who is one of the fastest women of all time, with 12:21 run earlier this year. In heat number 6, we have the reigning world record holder, Toby Amerson of Nigeria, who currently trains in Jamaica. And of course, when she's not in Jamaica, she's been managed by coached by Lassina Golding Clark. And of course, she goes in lane number 7, along with Devin Charlton, the world indoor champion and world record holder from the Bahamas. So that's the lineup for the Caribbean representatives, but also more specifically the Jamaicans. Let me bring Casey Graham in here to start, because you're the hurdles man. Talk to me. First of all, sad news about Megan Tapper. Given the fact that she
was doing well.
Yeah, she hit 12:34 twice this year. The second race into a minus 1.1 wind, which suggested that she was ready to probably run 12:2.
We saw the sign because the last 3 meets she did not compete well. So I wonder if she was feeling pain. If she was carrying an injury at times. 3 times she struggled, coming 8th and 9th.
Yeah, that was. I remember those 2 meets in Europe just before the World Championships. Yes, but okay, so she's out. But tell me, when you're looking at Danielle Williams, 12:31, a brand new personal best not long ago, suggests that she's running into good form. What do you think are her chances, not just to advance, but certainly to at least defend her title?
She's experienced. She has 2 world titles. She has a bronze medal. She is peaking at the right time, and then. She's not a favorite, but she always tends to upset Abacard. She has a good chance, 12:31. Although I think she will have to run faster than that, because it's 12:20 based on the athletes competing. If you're not running 12:20, you're in trouble. But sometimes you don't really need to run 12:10. When Danielle Williams won 2 times, she didn't run that fast.
No, she ran 12:5 and 12:4.
Right, but you see, hurdles it's a tricky event. So I think she has an outstanding chance. Despite when you look on the lineup, it's wicked. It's one of the wickedest lineup.
I think it's the deepest event in terms of talent in the sport.
As I said earlier, Nathan, last night, if you have the final 8 different times, the possibility of 8 different winners. That's how tough it is.
Akira Nugent is our national record holder, 12:24. She's been consistently in about 12:30, 12:34, 12:40. I think 12:43. I think is probably the slowest. No, she ran at 12:85 in that terrible meet early after she came back out of that block of training.
Yeah.
But other than that, she's been constantly 12:30s, 12:34. I think the slowest time outside of that was 12:43. Given the consistency, Casey, you and Coach Carr also know that when an athlete hits a certain level of consistency, a big drop usually follows. Give me a sense of what you think is possible for her at these championships if she executes well.
I have a concern that at a 1.5 race, she's majestic. Going the rounds, as proven last year at the Olympics, you see, you have to can go the round. A 1.5 race is a different thing. I'm concerned about Akira going the rounds and delivering. That's my biggest concern because she at these meet she has not shown that she can go the round. But as a 1.5 race, she's fantastic. But that's my main concern. Can she go the round? If she can go the round, then she will be among the top 3.
Amar Brown goes in heat number 5. This is like almost throwing her into the deep end. Her PB is 12:51. She's gone as fast as 12:67 this year at the national championships. This obviously will more likely be just a good learning experience for her.
True.
What do you think would indicate a good performance from her?
If she goes to the semi-final, she is the slowest of the Jamaicans and running 12:5. And when you look at the lineup, you have to be in the 12:3, 12:2. But this is the first time for her at the World Championship, and to reach a semi-final would have been an achievement for her.
And of course, in Heat 6, the reigning world record holder, Toby Amerson, she's been training with Glenn Mills since September last year. She's clearly faster. We've seen her on flat races at the Velocity Fest meets running flat hundreds. How much do you think that will help her in the hurdles?
A lot. She trust me, she has looked good, and being a world record holder, can't take anything from her. Based on her last couple of races, I see where she's getting back in shape. And I won't be surprised if she was to come out and win this race because she is fast, and training against with some fast people in Jamaica has really helped her. And she has an outstanding chance. Either way.
One of the things that I was impressed with her, I'm trying to remember what meet it was, where she had a terrible start and still ran back and ran 12:25. I don't remember the exact meet, but she finished second, I think, to Masai Russell. And ran 12:25 after a terrible start.
Yes.
And she was at the back of the pack at hurdle number 4 or 5, I believe. And then
she ran strongly close, like a train.
That's an indication of the kind of form that she's in. Huh?
Yeah, she's in fantastic form. And as I said, this race is wide open. But if I was to say one of the favorite is Toby. She has produced a world record, so she know how to compete in that zone.
Mikey, you heard Casey, and of course I think we're all in agreement that the hurdles is so deep. I mean, if you're not running 12:2s, you really don't have a chance. What do you think is key for the Jamaican athletes to navigate the rounds? You heard Casey talk about his concern about Akira Nugent navigating the rounds to get to the final. What is key here? Is it just focus on the execution early rounds and let the chips fall where they may, or how is the approach going to be?
All right, evening to everyone. Before I answer your question or give my opinion on things, I just want to extend my condolences to the Edwin Allen family. Yes, to Coach Dyke, I can understand how you're feeling now, but be strong. It's rough, but hold on, my brother. And to the Edwin Allen fraternity again, my condolence. Execution is key. That is what is going to make the difference. How you execute your races. if you just hit a hurdle or something in problem. So it comes down to execution. Based on the times going, it's not that they are that slow, they are right there. So it's about execution now. And I think we apart from Amoya, our other two hurdlers should advance, you know. Again, what Casey said about Akira is something we have to see. We saw it at the trials, and we saw it last year at the championship too, at the Olympics, right? So it's probably a concern there. But if she gets it right, she could be amongst them. And, you know, the hurdlers is like the 4x1 relays. When you finish it and all is safe, you say yes, give thanks, because one slip, and that's it. Your rhythm is off totally. So it's about execution.
Casey, what does execution look like? I mean, you're a man who has coached hurdles. I think both of you are coached hurdles. What are some of the fundamentals that the athletes have to follow?
Okay, you have to get out fast. The first 3 hurdles, very critical. If you are left behind, you are in trouble. This is a short event, you know. So if you want to be among the best, that first 3 hurdles, you have to execute those 3, and that momentum will take you.
What's the key though? Once you said the first 3 hurdles, but you get to the hurdle, try to get to the first hurdle first, yes. But tell me about the mechanics about going off, how you position your body off of the hurdle to propel yourself into the next one without crashing into the hurdle.
Right. You just have to ensure the steps, you know, that the 3 step and 4 step, you have to have that in your mind, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you can execute like that, you're good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Coach Carr, one of the big elements of hurdling is coming off with your body moving forward, because if you land on your heel, you're going to lose momentum. How do you manage that in terms of when you're thinking about execution? How do you position your body going over the hurdles to ensure that you don't land on and go backwards?
Okay, it's about your hips. You need to push that hip forward. So when that lead leg touches down, your hip should be at least over or close to in front of that lead leg, which will give you what you call a running move. And also your ankles. If your ankles are pointing down, you're going to have a problem. So you have to get those ankles dorsiflex so you can hit the ground and stay tall. Never lower your center of gravity. Never lower your hips or you're in trouble. So you have to stay on the ball of your feet and keep the hips up so you can run forward, because it's sprinting.
Yeah, explain dorsiflex to the listeners who might not know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're talking about the ankles. Either you point it down.
You're pointing your toes down.
Pointing your toes down, and dorsiflex is pointing the toes up.
That's all we need to explain, because I know when you use them in terms of dorsiflex, people say, what am I talking about? Yeah. So I want people to understand it's a very technical event.
Very much so.
Indeed.
And so if you're not able to master the different elements of it, you're going to crash into the hurdle.
And you see that trail leg, that's one of the key ones. Because a lot of hurdlers hit hurdle because of the position of that ankle, that trail leg ankle being down, which gives you that 99% chance of hitting that hurdle with it down. So it's about here, it's about getting that hip. But like your hip flexors muscles, those muscles have to be in good condition to be consistent. And it's a rhythm event. You can count the amount of steps from the blocks to the finishing line in hurdling. And when you see hurdlers hit a hurdle and can't come back, they have lost a rhythm. It's like dancing. And you step out a step and you step on your partner's toe, and you know what I mean? It's just rhythm. And it's a very elegant event.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's one of my favorite events.
That's my favorite event. Although it's I can't watch it sometimes. It gives you heart. It's a good hard feel. I don't know why I coach hurdles in my life.
Yeah, well, you've coached one of the best hurdlers Jamaicans has ever seen, Brittany Anderson. You know, so you know what it feels like. Of course, you I think wasn't you who guided her to that silver medal at the World Under 20 Championships in 2018?
No, I think after she left.
Oh yeah.
Remember, she was done with like Amaya Brown.
2017, she was in Kenya with me in 2017.
Okay, cool.
And Sandy Kowaka. Those are the 3 who were dominating at Veer at the time.
Yeah, but she's good. And of course, if you haven't heard, Brendan Anderson is now married and has a young son and living in Italy. She's training to get back into the sport. She did announce on her Instagram page that she is coming back to the sport. As you remember, she had done surgery 2 years ago after picking up an injury in training, and then didn't have a spectacular year coming back.
Right.
But I didn't think anybody would expect her to come back as fast.
Injury.
Yeah, but then she,
And I think she's the
fell in
best.
love.
Future-wise, she's our best hurler. Once she get back, she's gonna be dangerous. She's our best female sprint hurler.
Yeah, she did say she loves the
She's
sport.
tough.
And that she's planning to come back to the sport. So we're looking at an even deeper field once she gets back. I'm thinking in about another 2 years, because she's still relatively young. Of course, while we're talking about the hurdles, I cannot go on without mentioning somebody who you are familiar with, Janique Brown, who is, to me, a very talented hurler. She held the national record for a few months back in 2019, 1240, while winning the NCAA championships. And since that time, she's had a lot of challenges, and now she's not even competing
When
anymore.
she came back last year and reached the semi-final.
Yeah.
I thought it would have motivated her to come back this
Well,
year.
she did say in an interview. I overheard her doing an interview. I don't remember it was with TVG or another network, but she was saying that Stephen Francis made her believe, and so now she's seeing the product of the results of the work that she's put in, and that she'll be coming back stronger next year. This is that year, and we haven't seen her at all. So that's unfortunate. And I think if she does not resume her career, Jamaica would have lost an extremely talented young lady.
She might be back soon.
Fingers crossed,
Yeah.
because I believe that she's extremely talented. And she is a very smart young woman as well. Brilliant. When I'm talking brilliant, I'm talking about academic brilliant.
Yeah, man.
Brilliant. So, it would be nice to see her come back to the sport, even though she doesn't talk to me anymore. But, but it is what it is. Yeah, but gentlemen, let's look back to this morning. Of course, we talked about the heats in the 100 meters for both men and women. Casey, you weren't here, so I want to hear your thoughts on what you saw this morning, because I know that among your potential medalists, which are not that many, that the sprinters were among those you expected to get medals. Based on what you saw this morning, what were your thoughts?
Kishan looked smooth. He looked the best of all the sprinters. I didn't like the start that Oblique had. He got a poor start and had to rally back. Hakeem also. But I think Noah Lyles, he could be dangerous. We don't know how much he has in the tank. And as I say, his experience, he knows how to perform at the big stage. But based on what I saw this morning, it's going to take something special to beat Kishan Thompson.
Talk to me about the women. I mean, let's start with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, because this is her swan song. But were you impressed by what you saw, and do you think that she has more and the possibility of getting into the final?
I know I'm going to get in trouble, because I don't think Shelly will bet in the final. And Shelly, she has been struggling. Every time she ran against Talo beat her. I don't think it would have been nice for her. Well, the stock will be very high for her to make the finals.
And Coach Carr, a few years ago, I'll never forget, in this very same studio, we had a conversation about the psychology of the sprinting, or psychology of sports. Is it a coincidence, you think, that every single time, or more often than not, when Oblique Seville is at a crucial juncture of a championship or a major event, that he seems to have some kind of drama? We saw it at the national championships. We're seeing it this morning. We saw it in 2023 in Budapest. And, of course, there was the injury in 2024 in Paris. What are your thoughts? Is this another episode again that could cost Oblique Seville a place on the podium? And if so, where does his career go from here? Because this will be 5 consecutive championships in which he's failed to deliver.
Well, let's look at Stadium, our trials. He had a problem there, came back, ran second. Today, it happened again, and he came back and he ran second again. So, those 2 instances, he still performed even with all that, distraction. So I am not sure if it could be psychological, but at the same time, he's performing. But I don't think it's psychological. It's just situations that happen, and he has weathered the storm at all times. So hopefully, coming the semi-final, we see something straightforward. Let's say the worst happened today, so he must learn from what happened today and be more prepared to execute better tomorrow.
As a coach, what would you say to him, like after this morning, what would you sit him down and say to him?
Refocus. Yeah, refocus. That's all you can say to him, because most of the work has been done already in terms of preparation. So just refocus and come again. You don't get at him, you just keep him as calm as possible. And like I said, just refocus. Come, let's execute. Let us do what we do in training and put it out there. That's behind you. There's nothing you can do to change what happened already. It's about going forward now, how you go forward.
Interesting. Of course, those events come up tomorrow morning, where we'll be expecting to see the semi-finals of the women's 100 meters. Well, tomorrow morning our time.
Tomorrow morning our
time.
Tomorrow morning our time.
Yeah, because there are times when you get the confusion is crazy.
Yeah, man.
I'm looking at the semi-final draw.
Yep.
In each one you have Talu, Daranita, Shakari, Sharika.
Yep.
That's crazy.
We talked about it this morning.
In E2, Shelly and Fraser, Tonisha Terry, Amy Hunt, and Alfred.
Yeah.
And Zoe Hobbs.
And don't forget Killer White. Killer White ran 10 before the US trial.
And you have Auntie Charlton. Since the NC, she has not done well. So
Auntie, I think
1087 was her best, but she has not looked the same. And in E3 now, Tina Clayton and Melissa Jefferson, then Asha Smith. Then Asha Smith has looked good. Since she went back to England to train, she looked good. So this one here, imagine Melissa versus Tina, Asha Smith. This one, so all three semifinals are loaded.
Yep. And of course, you can't forget Zainab Dasso as well, who is a pretty talented sprinter. So it's a stack. I think all 3 heats are stacked, and I think there is some optimism about Shelly and Fraser Price advancing. The thing about it is this. When we mentioned Zoe Hobbs, right?
Yeah.
From New Zealand, who is a rising star in that country. Julian Alfred and Tonisha Terry, Amy Hunt. All these ladies have
come to the table.
Yeah, and they performed well. Shelley's PB this season best this is 10:91.
Right.
Do you think that she needs to run faster than this to get into?
She has to. If she doesn't run faster than 10:91, she won't be in the final. She has to run faster than 10:91. Can you look at the people who she's run against? They are season best, much better. Most of them season best, better than her. Can you look at Alfred 10:75, Tonisha Terry 10:85, Charlton 10:87, Zoe Hobbs 10:94, and Shelley 10:91. It's gonna be a tough one. I hope she can come and execute. And with her experience, she wants to be in the final. So let's see.
If she gets the start that we saw this morning, she's been in trouble. Because we did not see that explosive start this morning out of the
We haven't
blocks.
seen that in a while.
Right,
Thank you,
so
Mikey.
that 30, 40 meters, she's normally in front at that time. And she keeps, she's nowhere near there.
No.
And that's a very important part of her race, being out in front.
Listen, when Shelley was at her peak, the only person who could match her at those phases of the race was the Lane Thompson era.
Lane Thompson era, yeah.
And now we see everybody getting ahead of her, which is not a good sign.
Right, not a good sign.
Yeah, so it's concerning in that regard. Casey, I had a conversation with some friends this morning about who looked better, Melissa Jefferson Wooden or Julian Alfred. What's your take on these two ladies who are likely going to be the top two medalists?
To be honest with you, St. Lucian looked better. But you watch her race, execution was lovely. But I still think Melissa Jefferson will be the one. But I think the St. Lucian, she looked good. She looked extremely good. But I still think Melissa Jefferson will come out on top.
When I saw Julian Alfred hit the brakes this morning, it's like she was trying her best to stop and could not stop around 10:93.
She looked good, yeah.
You know, so it's going to be key. I think it's going to be crucial who gets the better start. I think that's where the race is going to be won. Whoever gets out of that blocks and hits that first 30, you know, and then
You have to be with the front pack up there at that time.
I think that's where the race is going to be.
Right out there.
Right there, early stage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning we'll have to talk about that, and of course then we'll see the men's semi-final as well. And Casey and Mikey just talked about those events and hoping that the Jamaicans will do well to get through to the finals, and then fireworks later on in the morning at about 8:20, I believe it's going to be.
Yeah.
Where there'll be the men's and women's final will take place, and people are going to either ball or cheer tomorrow morning. Yeah, but this particular section of the championships is going to be, I believe, crucial to how well we do in these championships.
We need a performance to lift the entire camp.
Yeah, because I think what we've seen so far with injuries to Rochelle Clayton, the injuries to Megan Tapper, the poor performance of the 4x4 mixed 4x4 relay,
Akila Smith not making it.
Akila Smith jumping below par. I have to admit I'm a little bit concerned that all of this underwhelming performance will begin to seep into the squad in terms of your self-belief.
Right.
And I'm hoping that tomorrow or tonight, tomorrow morning our time, that the fortunes will begin to change.
It will change.
Yeah.
It should change.
Yeah. So let me.
But again, I always say, trying too hard is just as bad as not trying at all. Because it's when you are trying that hard, everything gets tied up. You are not loose, right? So
tense.
Yes. So you cannot execute like what you're supposed to because you want to do this and you have to do this. So I think they should spend more time and being more relaxed, more composed. And they should, because they have done it. It's not that they have not done it before. In whatever events there are, the times, the distances are there. But I have to. I think they need to just relax.
Let me just throw these numbers out. 876-630-9371 to 4. 876-630-9371 to 4 if you want to join the conversation. Casey, there's something I wanted to ask you. It slipped right out of my head a while ago. Whoa. Okay, so come back to me eventually. Ages ahead of a thing. But I had a thought. It was something that had to do with the... Oh, yeah, here it is. And I want to hear both of you on this. We all know that racing or competing is essential to preparation. Huh? Could it be that because a lot of these athletes have not competed that much after the national championships in June, that it's beginning to have an impact on their performance levels? Is that something that is a possibility, or is it plausible to think that way? Because when you look at across the board, a lot of the athletes, I mean, with the exception of Oblique Seville and probably Kishin, we haven't seen much from any of the other athletes.
Right. So let us look at those who have been competing since trials, and to those who have not competed since trials, and let us see the comparison there with what's happening. Yes, you have to be competition ready. And in order to be competition ready, you have to compete. And you do something here and then you sit back for weeks and think and expect that at the same time when you go back, training is a big difference from competing.
Absolutely.
Right, so you do it now, you say, well, I am at XYZ, and you're going to hold on for 6 weeks, whatever, and say, you will never be at the same point. Never, ever. Something must go down somewhere, sometime. Some persons probably might be a little exceptional here and there, but normally you have to be competition ready.
I will side with Dejana Oakley. This is a young lady that has gone 49, 65, and she struggled at the Senior Panam 52, and she struggled on the mixed 4x4, and that's not a good sign. Also, I've not seen Nikisha Price competing regularly also.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. Leah and Samuel on 4x4, Stacey and William, they are not been competing on the circuit, so they are concerned about them performing.
Nicholas is on the line. Nicholas, good evening. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. Good night. You hear me loud and clear? You guys hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I am hearing you loud. We are all hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, man. Good night, Sir Levy and coaches.
Yeah, man. Good night.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Good evening.
Yeah, man. May I listen to the program? I am a track and field, fanatic. So, what I'm saying, I talk about Shelly and all these other people. All right. For the track and field, as I say. Shelly, she has been delivering. We ask, she deliver. We not ask, she not deliver. And we do best, analysis and, all that support. But please, me have beg you. She had the goat already, she do it already. If even she don't deliver that this championship, trust me, we can't go so hard for her. We just hope we don't go hard for her. We just want to find out, right? And tell her the truth. If Shelly Nena give her best, she would really and truly should enough that championship. But may I beg you, please, just go easy.
No, but we're not being hard on her. We're just putting the numbers out there. I mean, I don't think anything that happens with Shelly at these championships does not diminish her legacy any at all. She's still, to me personally, I can tell you, she's still the GOAT. She had some misfortune in Paris last year. And then, of course, this year, she's not at her best. She's 38 years old. Time, no matter how fast you run, time catches up with you. So we're not trying to tarnish her legacy. We're just putting it out there about the reality of her circumstances right now.
Because yeah, man, go ahead.
So what we're saying, what we're doing, we're as I said, we're analyzing what we see. And the numbers that are being produced, because that's the data that we have to work with. So if she doesn't make the final, I don't think it hurts her legacy any at all, and it doesn't diminish her in our eyes in any single way. Coach Carr has been working with her from she was a young teenager.
Right.
Casey has worked with her as part of Jamaica's coaching staff over the years. I have covered her extensively since 2008 when I came back to Jamaica. So all of us here in this studio right now hold her in the highest esteem. We don't think of her in any less way because she might not deliver the way she's used to delivering. Remember, this is a Shelly Fraser Price who's only missed a final one time in 18 years now. Right, and that was last year at the Olympics when she had the cramps in the just before call time in the 100-meter semifinals, and of course this year she's clearly not back to her best.
Brazil.
No, the last year the Paris World Champ. In Brazil she won the bronze medal with a sick toe. She got bronze behind Tori Bowie and no, that was behind Elaine, and Tori Bowie. So we're not diminishing Shelly Ann Fraser Price by any measure. What we're doing is putting into context her performances this season and what it might mean for her going forward.
Okay, Sir Lee, we just want to make that clear because trust me, we don't see nobody else like Shelly.
No, there is nobody else like Shelly.
No, she's a GOAT.
There is nobody else like Shelly. I tell people all the time the things that she's accomplished can never be broken because she's the first and in some instances the only one to have ever done it. So, so her legacy. One of the things that I think a lot of people take for granted is the fact that she's won 4 individual 100-meter medals in the Olympics at 4 consecutive Olympic Games. You know how hard that is to do? Nobody has ever done that. Nobody has ever done that. You know, so you're looking at a woman who's setting standards that many might never ever be able to reach. The only athlete in the world that Shelley does not have a better head-to-head with is Elaine Thompson-Herah, who herself is one of the greatest of all time. You know, so
10.54.
Yeah, 10.54. You know, I think her record against Shelley, when she's healthy, it was something like 12-3, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You know, so the only person who has been better than Shelley in terms of head-to-head is Elaine Thompson-Herah. She's beaten everybody else. Everybody else. And we look at the athletes that she's beaten over the years. From Tori Edwards to, what's her name? Carmelita Jetta.
I think she said one time, you know, Jetta was one of our biggest contenders.
Yeah, because Jetta was a fierce competitor. Shelley has beaten a full generation of the best sprinters in the world from 2008 up until 2022 when she was a world champion. She has beaten every single elite female sprinter on the planet. You know, so, you know, she's good. I mean, regardless, if she bows out at the semifinals tomorrow morning, it would not matter to me one iota.
Okay.
You know?
Likewise myself.
Yeah, man.
Likewise myself. Like me say, Sir Levy and coaches, people do want to do best. You know, me just say want to make sure.
Don't worry yourself, man. It would be all of us here greatest joy to see her on that podium.
Yeah.
But we have to deal with things as we see it, you know?
See it, right. I know where about Sherika. I think she has a surprise, you know.
Based on what I saw this morning, she very well may. Because this is the best I've seen her all year. In case
yes, she he's up.
But my concern,
75
my concern is she running both events.
We talked about that, Coach Gar, didn't we?
Yeah.
The fact that she's doing both.
I think she should have concentrated on 200. She running 3 rounds of 100, and then possible 3 rounds of 200, 6 rounds, and she's not in the same form after.
And then with 4x1 later on, all things being equal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, man. So we appreciate you, Nicholas, and we appreciate your thoughts, and you know.
All right, Sir Levy.
Yeah,
all
man.
The best. Keep safe.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, boss. Remember the numbers to call: 630-9371-4, and you know, join the conversation. I want to hear your thoughts about anything to do with the World Championships. We're here to address those, you know, whatever your thoughts are. We talked about Shericka Jackson, guys. Casey has reflected a thought that I've had this season about the reality that she should probably have chosen one event, not 2, because clearly she's not the same Shericka Jackson from 2023. Those injuries that occurred in 2024 clearly had a significant impact on her physically and might be psychologically as well. Because when you're at a level where you're so far ahead of the world, where when you're running an event, nobody questions the outcome. It's about the time that you run. That's what the primary concern was. You know that you're at a level where not very many people have gone. But in 2024, injury hit in Hungary, and then it was a disaster. No Olympics. I mean, you know what's particularly sad to me about Shericka and the Olympics? In 2021, she made a critical blunder and didn't qualify for the next round. She underestimated the field, I suppose, and slowed down too quickly and lost and fell out of qualification place. She comes to 2024 with an opportunity for redemption. Running well, leading up to that meet in Hungary, and then she gets hurt, which we're initially told was just a cramp. Whether it was accurate or not, well, we know now that it was not accurate. And then for her to miss the Olympic Games pretty much closes the window on her Olympic career as an individual medalist in terms of winning medals or perhaps gold medals at the Olympic Games. So, and based on my understanding, our word is on the ground that she doesn't plan to compete in LA 2028, which means her Olympic aspirations have been dashed completely. So coming into these World Championships, she's a two-time defending 200-meter champion. And, given what we've seen from Melissa Jefferson, we've seen from Julian Alfred, we've seen from Tina Clayton, we've seen from Kayla White, we've seen from J.C. Sears. My thinking would be, okay, I'm the boss at the 200. Why not just go for one last hurrah in that event and call it judge if that's what she chooses to do? But taking on two intense events, coming off a year when you've been battling with injuries and battling with injuries this year as well. Because I remember her doing an interview after the national championships where she said 2 weeks before that she wasn't even sure she was going to run at national championships, which means that the injury issues that she had probably the year before have either created other injury issues or carried over from the year before, which means that she was not 100%. And then she was off the competition. I mean, she won 200 meters after trials, 22.17, and that was it. So that not all is not well with her physically. But to see her this morning, she looked really good. But I would have, like Casey said, I would have liked to have seen her focus only on the 200.
It's like having a slice of bread and you have a little butter. So instead of trying to butter the whole slice of bread, cut it in half, cut it in two, and you can really butter one side properly. You know what I mean?
But it's unfortunate because I think Sharika is one of those outstanding athletes that.
But then again, in terms of the preparation, yes, that's what we would like to see. But I would tend to believe that she has prepared for such. You know what I mean? I don't think between she and the coaching staff and everybody, they would not take on this if they were not prepared
and feel that they
can deal with it.
Can deal with it.
Yeah,
Or is this? I mean, you're the coach, as I say. I am just the layman. But could it be that because she hasn't raced much, that she probably uses the 100 to get some races into her legs and make her better prepared for the 200? Is that a possibility?
No, I think that's hard. You got to put more pressure on yourself by running the 100. Because she wants to medal, so she's going to run hard. And running the 100 will put pressure on her in the 200. So I don't think that
would be a wise option.
A wise option.
Okay. Of course, the numbers to call 630-9371-4. Want to share your thoughts on what we can expect from our outstanding athletes in the 100-meter semifinals tomorrow. The 1,500-meter heats come up at about 7 o'clock. Well, what am I saying?
7 o'clock.
They're gone already.
Yeah.
We've been talking through all of that window. I'm trying to look at the results, but I'm not seeing that they're currently on the way now, actually. So we'll get you some results from that in time. Of course, what we can do is throw to the feed, and you can hear the 1,500 meter races because they're also quite interesting. And there's a strong possibility that we could see one of the most exciting middle distance races in the 1,500 at these World Championships. preliminary round of the heats. Well, the heats of the 100-meter hurdles. Gentlemen, all three Jamaicans are through. What are your impressions, Coach Carr?
I think we got what we expected. And when you look at the other competitors who are challenging for a spot on the podium, they all look the same. When you look at the times from the heats, I mean, they are just 12:40s and very low 50s, very, very low 50s for the top competitors. And like we say, everybody's 40, 46, 48, 40, 53. But here again, we see Danielle going in with the fastest time of 12:40.
And it's indicative of the form that she's in.
Exactly, and she looked the part. She really looked the part. And as you know, she's a big-time competitor. And I think that, before people were talking about Nugent and thing, but I think that probably shifts now a little bit to Danielle because she really looked good. Really looked good. Vizier.
Nothing Visser.
Yeah, Visser, sorry. Yeah, she looked good. I loved her leg speed between the hurdles. The turnover was good. But apart from Nugent, everybody got out and were leading and even Amoy, she was out on the first pack. The first three hurdles. All our girls were very competitive and then moved away, basically. Nugent, I think, struggled over the first 3-4 hurdles, But, again, this is the heats, and the important thing here is they have all advance.
Casey, you had expressed concerns before this that you were worried about Akira Nugent managing the rounds. Her start is probably the weakest part of her race. She's inconsistent with that start, something that I think she even herself has acknowledged. When you look at what happened in the heat today, where it took a while for her to separate herself because the first 3 or 4 hurdles, everything was close. Is that something that she needs to be cognizant of going into the semifinals, where her start needs to obviously improve?
Yes, because based on the competitive level of the field, you can't afford to be behind. You have to be up there early. Maybe the bad races. I expect her to get better because with her experience and her track record, she knows how to perform at the big stage. So once Danielle gets a start, she could be dangerous. Well, Akira also. Akira is the next one. But when you look on the field, it's a tough field. Masai Russell, Nadine Visser, Alice Johnson, Toby Amazon. This one is tough. So I was hoping that the Jamaicans can get quick starts and separate themselves early from the rest of the field.
Of course, if you're listening and you want to join the conversation, 930-6371-4. You can call and tell us give us your impressions of what you saw with the Jamaicans who have all advanced to the semi-final round. Of course, Megan Tapper unable to participate because of an injury that caused her to withdraw from the championships. We announced that this morning and confirmed it when I spoke directly to her via messaging. And so, she's out. But certainly, you have to see where you have to be pleased, Coach Carr, that all the Jamaicans remaining managed to navigate the first round successfully.
Definitely, because as you know, the hurdle event is of such that anything is possible. And to see that they have negotiated all the obstacles safely, we are happy for that and hope they keep doing that for the rest of the competition.
Talking about Masai Russell, she's obviously the heavy favorite here. 12-1-7, 12-1-9 this year. She's by far the best and most consistent hurdler this year. How did she look? I mean, I know what I saw, but when you look at her heat, the opening heat,
I think she was a little. To me, she was a little tight. I don't know. It's because the occasion and who she is and what's hanging over her head. and such. But apart from that, she looked good and definitely the one I think to beat for this gold medal.
Casey, Toby Amison, of course, the 2022 champion and world record holder, comfortably won her heat as well. She'd been in Jamaica working on her speed, something that we discussed already. What did you see at her race that gives you encouragement that she probably will be able to win a second world title?
Yeah, I think she's the biggest threat to Masai. Don't sleep on her. She knows when to perform on the big stage, and she looked extremely good. She has been consistent, and when you're a world record holder, it don't mean you just run, you know. So I expect her to be among the medal, but Nadine Visser, I like what I saw with her in her last. Remember, she beat Masai Russell, and then in the
final, she hit a hurdle.
And she was right, and then she came back and won. She's dangerous. When you talk about technique, she's good. I think she could be a spoiler. But overall, we expect some very fast times. And I'm just hope 3 Jamaicans. It's gonna be hard for Amai. Our best bet is Daniel Williams and Akira Nugent.
Of course, the numbers to call if you want to join the conversation, 930-637-124. The lines are open, so feel free to call. We have a few minutes to go, so we can engage you for a few minutes before we wrap up here tonight, before we come back tomorrow with some more exciting action, which tomorrow is going to probably be one of the most exciting days of the championship so far, because there is a lot at stake. I just give you a sense of what that will look like. Where am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong schedule. But
400 meter men.
The 400 meters men goes off at 4:35 a.m. Jamaica time, and that is followed by the men's high jump. Of course, in the men's 400 meters, Jamaica has a number of participants, including the national champion. There's Bovell McPherson in Heat 2, Rasheen McDonald, the national champion in Heat 3, and who else is in there? Antonio Watson, the defending champion, is in Heat number 5. And of course, Delano Kennedy is in Heat 6, along with Kirana Jim. Delano Kennedy is also coached by Shaniki Osborne. So let's see what he has to offer. 44.91 is his season's and personal best. So let's see if those times are good enough to get them through to the next round. In the men's high jump, there are 2 jumpers from Jamaica who are featured. Of course, there's Romain Beckford, and he goes in Group A, and of course Raymond Richards, who goes in Group B. If you remember, Raymond Richards won the bronze medal at the World Indoor Championships in March.
Just to make a quick comment, it's good to see that we have 2 participants in this particular event.
Yeah.
It's not a norm for us to do that. I think Casey will confirm to that, but it's good to see we have 2 competitors there.
Yep, absolutely. And so at 5:12 a.m., Samantha Hall will compete in the final of the women's discus. She is currently has the 10th best mark going into the final. So, we can only hope that she achieves a personal best, and that means, clearly that will mean something to her. The women's 400 meters goes off at 5:25 a.m. with Dejana Oakley running in Heat 1. Sade Williams, of course, who's from Barbados and trains at MVP, runs in Heat 2. In Heat number 3, Janaya Valcourt of the Bahamas and Caitlin Bob of Bermuda go in Heat number 4. In Heat number 5, Stacey Ann Williams, the runner-up at the National Championships in June. And in Heat number 6, Am I missing something? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Heat 4 with Nikisha Price.
Oh, Nikisha Price is Heat 4. My
Yeah.
apologies for that. Yeah, I was wondering where I didn't see her name. So that goes off at 5:25 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then of course at 6:20, fireworks. The women's 100 meter semi-final with Sherika Jackson in heat number 1, running alongside Shakira Richardson, Daryl Nita, and Mary Jose Talou Smith, as well as Kayla White. This is like a group of death. And in heat number 2, Shelly Ann Fraser Price takes on Zoe Hobbs, Julian Alfred, Tonisha Terry, and Amy Hunt, as well as Iwa Swoboda. And in semi-final 3, Tina Clayton goes up against Dina Asher Smith, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, and Zainab Dosso, along with Tori Lewis of Australia, who set a new national record of 11:08 in the preliminary round. That is followed by the men's semi-final, where Akeem Blake goes in heat number 1. Kishane Thompson goes in heat number 2, and Oblique Seville goes in heat number 3. The women's 1500 meter semifinal follows that at 7:07 a.m. and that's followed by the men's 10,000 meters at 7:30 a.m. Then the finals of the women's 100 meters comes up at 8:13 a.m. tomorrow morning and is followed by the men's final at 8:20 a.m. Of course, we can't give you lane draws there because nobody's there yet. So exciting times ahead tomorrow morning. Lots at stake, especially in the women's 100 meters and men 100 meters. Of course, the semifinals of both sprint events are up tomorrow morning as well. Just to remind you, those times will occur at 6:45 a.m. For the men's semifinal. The women's semifinals go off at 6:20 a.m. So rub the sleep from your eyes and get ready for some fireworks because it's expected to be hot on the track in Tokyo tomorrow morning, Jamaica time, which is the evening session for this evening's morning session in Tokyo, Japan. But tell you what, it's been a long day, gentlemen, and I'm sure the people want to go to bed early so that they can get up early in the morning and catch some of the action here on Nationwide Radio. So come back tomorrow morning with us at 4:35 a.m. We'll be on air here to bring all the live action to you and give you our analyses of the performances that we see. On behalf of Raymond Casey Graham and Coach Michael Carr, this is on the production team. This is Leighton Levy saying have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning here as Nationwide continues its coverage of the 2025 World Athletics Championships coming from Tokyo, Japan. Good night.